What up, YouTube? You're in the den with Aaron EBM. I'm glad you came back to the channel because today I got an interesting one for you. Now, often you hear us talk about how kids in single-parent households fare versus kids in dual-parent households. And in this video, just like the title says, this kid has a .13 GPA and the mother had no idea about it. So let's get right into the video.
Out of a Baltimore City high school where hundreds of students are failing.
As Project Baltimore's Chris Papps explains, we found a student who's passed 3 classes in 4 years and is ranked near the top half of his class.
We're not letting none of this get the best of us. All right? Be strong, son. We got this.
He's stressed, and I am too. Like, I told him I probably would start crying. Like, my son is, I don't know what to do for him.
This coming June is when Tiffany France thought her son would receive his diploma.
And I'm just trying to fight. He like, Mom, what was all this for? What did I do this for? Like, don't he get a chance? Do he get a chance?
But after 4 years of high school, this mom just learned her 17-year-old has to start over. He's been moved back to 9th grade.
Why would he do 3 more years in school? He didn't fail. The school failed him.
Right there. No accountability. Ma'am, this is your son. The son that you birthed from your womb. And you don't know that he didn't have a .13 GPA in the last 3 years. You're the number one person to blame because you're the mother, you're the parent, you're the adult. And this is indicative of a single parent household. In this case, a single mother household, because you can look up the statistics and they'll tell you if you're born in a single parent household, you're more likely to have sex early, you're more likely to do drugs, and you're more likely to drop out of school early. And this is why, and this is what happens because you're not there to watch this kid like a kid can get watched with a dual parent household, because one parent can drop off or slack off a little bit. The other one can pick up, but you don't have that in a single parent household.
School failed at their job. They failed.
No accountability.
They failed. That's the problem here. They failed.
One thing, it always comes back to no accountability, and it's always somebody else. If he turns out to be a menace to society, he was a good boy, he was an angel, I never knew he did these kind of things, and the responsibility never comes back on how you raise that kid. And this is what we're talking about. No accountability.
Failed. He didn't deserve that.
France's son attends Augusta Fells Savage Institute of Visual Arts in West Baltimore. His transcripts show in 4 years he has passed just 3 classes, earning 2.5 credits, which places him in 9th grade. But France says she didn't know that until February. She has 3 children and works 3 jobs. She thought her oldest son was doing well because even though he failed most of his classes, he was being promoted. His transcripts show he failed Spanish 1 and Algebra 1, but was promoted to Spanish 2 and Algebra 2.
And clearly he habla no inglés.
He also failed English 2, but was passed on to English 3.
I'm just assuming
He didn't know English either.
that if you are passing, that you have the proper things, you know, to go to the next grade. And, you know, the right grades, you have the right credits.
As we dig deeper into her son's records, we can see in his first 3 years at Augusta Fells, he failed 22 classes and was late or absent 272 times. But in those 3 years, only one teacher requested a parent conference, which France says never happened. No one from the school told this mother her son was failing.
Ma'am, why do you not know? Look, okay, I get it. You're a single mother. You're working 3 jobs. You got 3 kids. That's problematic already, but that's another video. You got 3 kids. Obviously, none of the fathers are around, so we believe, because we don't have the full story. At least I can understand how you miss a test. I can understand how you can see, because it happens all the time. Kids don't turn in their homework, you know, and they find slick ways to get away with it. But 3 years, man. 3 years is no excuse. You failed him, number one. The school, I'm going to get on the school in a minute, but you failed him, number one. Because there ain't no way in hell, I don't care how long I was working, or how many hours I did. If I was working 60, 70 hours, I'm gonna make damn sure that I know 99% what's going on with my kids in school.
And not going to class.
Yeah.
Francis' son, in his 4 years at Augusta Fells, earned a grade point average of 0.13. He only passed 3 classes, but his transcripts show his class rank is 62 out of 120. This means nearly half of his classmates, 58 of them, have a GPA of 0.13 or lower.
He's a good kid.
Okay, see, the school, I can see the school does not care about the kids. I get that. There's a lot of schools that don't care about the kids, and it shows. But you are still the parent. I tell, look, we're going to talk about this a lot on the channel, that you can't let the public schools raise your kids. And that's what's happening. You don't have the resources to fully raise your son, so you're allowing the school to raise your kids. And when they don't feel like raising your kids, this is what happens. You get passed on. You get graduated to the next level because they really don't care about you. And then you sitting up here stuck on stupid, and the news is at your house because your kid has a 0.13 GPA. And he's in the 62nd percentile, so the whole school is sucking. I get it, but the young homie was playing the PlayStation when the video came on. Hell no, it wouldn't be no playing of the station in my house if my kids had a D average, let alone a 0.13.
Like, he didn't deserve that. Where is the mentors? Where is the help for him? I hate that this is.
Where is his daddy at? Where is his father? Look, this is also what happens. This is the boys in the hood syndrome too. You never want, you're so tied up with your duties as a working mom, a single working mom, and you won't send this little dude off to his father. Now, granted, I don't know the full story. His father could be a bum, but in a lot of these cases, it's not. The woman just doesn't want the boy or the girl to go with their father until he turns into a menace, or until he's not doing his work, until you need that man to come put in some discipline. And then you decide to cherry pick him out of the house and send him to his dad.
Happening to my child.
In your opinion, did the school system fail this child?
Absolutely.
These schools failed because it has protocols and interventions set up to help students who are falling behind or have low attendance. In Francis' son's case, they didn't happen.
I get angry.
These are not boarding schools. When you're in a boarding school, okay, it is 100% your fault because these kids are living in your dormitories and you're responsible for their day-to-day living, but not in public school. 90% of that becomes the parent's issue. The 10% becomes the school's issue, because they are not supposed to raise your kids. Making him have good character and making sure that he's a good person and a good student, some of that falls on him, but a lot of that structure falls on you as the parent.
There's nothing but frustration. We see on the news the crime that occurs, the murders, the shootings. We know that there are high levels of poverty in Baltimore. Things like this are adding to that.
These children are why I do this work.
Dr. Sonia Santelises was school CEO 4 years ago when Francis' son was a freshman, but she will not interview with Fox 45 News. Instead, we received this 2-page statement, which explains what should happen when a student is chronically absent or failing. The district says students received a letter about their academic status this past summer, and records can be accessed through the campus portal. When a student is absent, an automated call is placed to the number on file. The statement also said the school conducted recent home visits and the student's parent visited the school. But France says none of that happened. What this statement does not address is why Francis' son was promoted despite failing classes. It doesn't discuss his class rank or the 58 other students with a GPA of 0.13 or lower.
Okay, you see that. When does this become the student's responsibility to want to do the work? Now let's take a backseat and talk about some fiction. Now, you guys remember those movies like Dangerous Minds and The Substitute. No matter how, I don't know it's fiction, but no matter how bad the school was, it was always a couple of kids that was real smart, and they stayed and they did what they did, and they made the grades that they wanted to make in school. And it happens in real life. It happens everywhere. It happens in every school. No matter what the people are doing around you, there's always those kids that just, look, we're going to keep our heads down and we're going to do the work because we want to learn. When does it come up a point to where the kid wants to learn? That is the kid's part of the responsibility, because I guarantee if kids put half the energy into the schoolwork that they do put in those PlayStations and the Madden and the 2K, then they would do good. You would even have D's if you wanted to make sure that you had D's. But that's the issue here. You can't just put this all in the school.
But it does say North Avenue is reviewing actions that impacted student outcomes at the school prior to this year.
It took a lot for me to just build the courage to do this. Like,
if you were to talk to this mom, what would you say to her?
I would hug her and I would apologize profusely.
and he feels embarrassed, like he feels like a failure. And I'm like, you can't feel like that. And you have to be strong. You gotta keep fighting. You know, life is about fighting. Things happen, but you gotta keep fighting. And he's willing. He's trying, but where do?
Ma'am, he's not trying. He doesn't feel like enough of a failure to get out of that damn game and make sure he's passing them classes. This is what I'm talking about. This is why you need a stable man in the household too. You can't put all this pressure on this woman, no matter how much of a queen she is, no matter how strong she is, and expect her to be able to do all this, especially with young men.
Who would he turn to when the people that's supposed to help him is not? Who do he turn to?
France has pulled her son out of Augusta Fells. He is now enrolled in an accelerated school program at another high school in West Baltimore. She is told if he works hard, he could graduate by 2023. And if you would like to read City...
I'm going to continue to preach this message. You cannot let the public school system, whether you're homeschooling or your kids in public school, raise your kids. And this is what this is coming down to. She cannot handle that full load, working 3 jobs, taking care of 3 kids, and pay close attention to these kids and what they're doing. That's why the numbers trend in the way that they trend. That's why it's a negative trend, because the single parent household, and let's be honest, the single mother household, because 80% of single parent households are single mothers, have the negative outcomes they have. All right, everybody, I appreciate you coming to the channel. Let me know if I hit the nail on the head. Let me know. I'm willing to take any criticism. I appreciate it. If you like this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Help me out with the YouTube algorithm so I can continue to make this channel grow. Until next time, everybody. Peace.
I keep God first. I see evil when I converse. Now today say, this how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns. Set it off. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it off.